To be honest, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 is not a cheap phone, so it must have something to convince you to buy it. So, does it? In short, I believe it does. It manages to cram a big battery, wireless charging, and 4 cameras into a less than 5mm thickness body. There's no second foldable phone in the world that can do this. This is supposed to be the best phone that Xiaomi has ever made with their cutting-edge tech. Could it be the best foldable of 2024? Let's check it out. If you will be watching this video to the end and you really think the Mix Fold 4 is very much to your liking, then buy it from Geek Wheels is your best option. Since the Mix Fold 3 was not released globally, Mix Fold 4 may not either, so getting the Chinese version early is the right thing to do. The purchase link is down below the video. Numbers always stay on the surface. Maybe you don't have a clear idea of how thin the less than 5mm Mix Fold 4 really is. Then I will put it this way. If you plug the charging cable into the USB-C port, you will realize the plug is thicker than the body. Everyone should have some keys, right? Put one next to the Mix Fold 4 and you will realize that they are actually about the same in terms of thickness. So this is a Mix Fold 4, one of the thinnest foldable phones in the world. There shouldn't be any phone much thinner than it in the future. After all, there's no way to make the USB-C port any smaller. It also managed to be extremely light. Anyway, when you use it folded, it's really very close to the experience of a normal phone. The rest of the features are pretty much the same as most foldable phones, with IR emitter, NFC, and side fingerprint recognition. The USB specs is the same as Mix Fold 3, which is 3.2 Gen 1. Of course, there's nothing perfect in this world. The camera module bulges out quite a lot as you have to cram in 4 cameras. The Fold 4's 2 speakers are placed diagonally, meaning that no matter how you hold the phone, your hand will always block one of them, which is a bit annoying. The tightly shot hinge and rounded frame make it incredibly slippery, plus it's just so thin. If you're not being careful when you unfold it, you may have to pay a heavy price. Because it got thinner, the hinges got smaller, and since the hinges have gotten smaller, the creases have gotten deeper. If you're the type of person who cares a lot about creases, then the Mix Fold 4 might drive you crazy. The center area will be rarely touched in everyday use and is only noticeable when you look at it sideways, so I personally don't care much about it. Thanks to the hinge material and the craftsmanship upgrades, the Mix Fold 4 opens and closes much more smoothly. The carbon fiber version I have also has a certain textured finish on the hinge area. Here again, I recommend this colorway. It's really nice and silky smooth. I love it so much. There's not much to say about the screen, no unacceptable drawbacks except for the more noticeable creases we just mentioned. The specs are not much of an upgrade over the Fold 3, and all the features that should be there are there. The look and feel of the inner and outer screens are also in line, even if they come from different manufacturers. The protective glass of the outer screen is made of Xiaomi's latest Dragon ceramic guard glass, and the top and bottom are also curved. Overall, they are still 2 excellent screens, just not particularly impressive. The processor in the Mix Fold 4 is still the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Benchmark scores will be a little lower than the regular 8 Gen 3 phone. Considering how thin it is, it makes sense. Unsurprisingly, in the heavy gaming test, Mix Fold 4 screwed up. It's clear that the gaming experience isn't as good as the previous generation. The reason for this is also simple. Just look at the power consumption and temperature. You can see that the 8 Gen 3 wasn't able to play at full strength because it was too hot. But also for the same reason, the heat dissipates very quickly. Check out this curve bump. I just put it on my desk for a few seconds to measure the temperature, and its gaming frame rate recovers quickly. With the help of phone cooler, maybe its gaming experience can reach to the next level. Anyway, if you often play big games on your phone, then Mix Fold 4 is not for you. Or maybe all foldable phones are not for you. So let's not be too harsh on Xiaomi either. Although the Mix Fold 4 has 4 cameras like the Mix Fold 3, unfortunately, the 3.2x telephoto lens of the 3 has been replaced with a 2x standard lens. So the focal length coverage of the Mix Fold 4 is not as wide as its predecessor. The good news is that the imaging quality of this lens is better with a higher amount of pixels. Combined with the fact that this sensor supports in-sensor zoom, 4x zoom is actually not a problem for the Fold 4. There's no noticeable loss of clarity in good lighting conditions. Even with the help of AI, it will be clearer when zoomed in some specific environments. And it's the only lens that supports the macro zoom feature, which does create beautiful photos in the right scene. Overall, this camera is a great camera, but there's one big downside to this 2x camera. There's no optical image stabilization. When the light is bad, even photos taken at a 46mm native focal length can be blurry. Even an expert photographer can't guarantee that every photo will be clearer. So I still prefer the telephoto camera of Mix Fold 3. At least the night shooting experience will be much better. The other three cameras are among the best in photo phones, pretty much the same as the previous generation. I'm very satisfied with every single photo. Because there's not much sharpening effect, the photos all look very natural. Unlike the 14 Ultra, the Mix Fold 4's colors are a little less saturated in Leica Authentic mode, so whether to take photos with the Leica Authentic or the Vibrant, it has to be decided by your experience. Because of the increased battery capacity, the battery life will be improved. You can't avoid charging twice a day if you use the inner screen frequently. The wired charging power is still 67 watt, and since the battery has gotten a little bigger, the charging speed doesn't look as good as the Mix Fold 3. So it's true that the Mix Fold 4 is a great photo phone, it's just that it's not as much of an improvement over the Mix Fold 3 as I thought it would be. It has become lighter and thinner, and not much else has changed. A lot of the software have not been optimized for it either, and it's exactly the same as last year. Again, every phone has its target audience. I'm sure a lot of people who care about the weight and thickness will like the Mix Fold 4 a lot. At least the price has not gone up and is still one of the best options for most people. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and the phone is up on the shelf for you at geekwheels.com. I'm Will from China. See you next time.